I'm Jeanette, VP of Marketing at Hounds, here at the NEMA Annual Meeting in Palm Beach with Deni Miller. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're very excited to be here at NEMA, where the big topic that everybody is talking about is this large Make It American initiative. And congratulations, ABB was just certified as a Made in America company under NEMA. So can you tell me a little bit about what that means?
The Make It American initiative is super important to ABB. If I think about ABB as an organization, we sit at that intersection of electrification and automation, and we know our customers have a real strong desire to have products and solutions that are built in America. So being one of the first to be recognized with the Make It American certification is huge. So now our customers can get everything from medium voltage switchgear, low voltage switchgear, switchboards, panel boards, power panels. I mean, everything you need for this dynamic demand that we see, all with a Made in America option. For us, it's really a recognition of, one, validating our supply chain, but really that operational excellence that we have, looking at the product content supporting BABA. So it's super exciting.
So in addition to there being a lot of patriotism and a lot of sentiment around American-made products, like you mentioned, BABA, if people are watching, they're not familiar with the Build America, Buy America Act. Talk to me a little bit about why it's so important that ABB is getting certified for making products in America right now.
So I'd say right now it's important. We see a strong demand, but ABB has always focused on the US. We're an organization out of Zurich, but a little less than 30% of our revenue comes from the US. So the investments that we are seeing in the US are not new. If I go back and I look 2010 until today, we've invested $14 billion in the US. We saw this demand coming. We are super well positioned with capacity, with investments, not only in infrastructure, but in people and tools. So for us, it's about continuing the investment. If I go back and I look 2022 to 2024, another $500 million of investment. And just this year, we've announced new manufacturing facilities. So all that demand that we see, whether it's grid modernization, whether it's the AI boom, whether it's just energy efficiency, we have the capacity and the tools now to support it.
That's something we've been really excited about talking about since we heard that NEMA was going to be going through this certification process to help the manufacturers and distributors get the certification that will help contractors and tradespeople be compliant with the new laws that are making it, are encouraging them to make sure that they're buying products that are made in America. But we also did a survey in the Hounds app, and 92% of our users that responded to that poll said they're more likely to buy a product if it's made in America. So I think this is just really good timing for everybody to be really celebrating and highlighting that you're going through this certification, and that's going to be a huge topic here this week at NEMA. Another big thing that's happening this week at NEMA is that you're going to be joining the board, which is really exciting. So tell me a little bit about that.
For me personally, it's an opportunity to get connected to NEMA. When I think about NEMA, it's really a mix between, it's the advocacy, it's the standards, and for ABB, it's about how do we partner along with NEMA. The geopolitical situation is rapidly changing. We want to make sure we're at the forefront, not only for ABB, but for the industry. The electro industry is thriving right now. All of the big trends that I've talked about all need power. So for me personally, I'm really excited to join the organization. I think what Deborah and the team have done is just incredible, positioning our organization, NEMA, really for the future. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited to join and really learn from the team as well.
Well, congratulations. That's really exciting. And I know you mentioned this earlier, but another big topic that's going to be spoken about a lot here this week is AI. So tell me a little bit, for people who maybe don't realize what a big impact AI is having on all of these initiatives that you're working on.
When we think about what this is doing for the industry, there's some really interesting statistics. So, 2024 up until today, about 4.5% of the US electricity is being consumed by data centers, right? And then we project out what's that going to do in the future. By 2030, it's going to be more than 9%, almost 10% of the electricity will be consumed by the data centers. So for us at ABB, it's about having the capacity, having those American-made solutions, but it's also about reducing the energy consumption. And when I think about the portfolio that ABB has, things like drives and motors, how do we go into the old aged infrastructure and really update it, right? Modernize it, putting in new drives, putting in motors to work together to manage the consumption. We believe we could actually reduce the energy consumption somewhere about 10% by using the drive to really be the brain of that electrical infrastructure, working with the motor to be smarter about that demand. So look, the demand's going to continue from data centers, but we also think there's a lot we can do to be much more proactive, with NEMA, but also with the solutions that ABB has.
It's a really exciting time to be in this industry, and I know that you have a lot on your plate with your role, and then also the new initiative with NEMA. But tell me, what are some of the other big initiatives that are on your mind lately?
Yeah, for us, labor is a big, I don't want to say an initiative, but it's always a focus. All of this investment that we've done, it comes down to people. So when I think about the future for ABB and the future for this industry, it's really investing smartly in how we train our people in our factories, in our organizations, making sure that we keep them safe, and then also working with our contractors, our distribution partners in the field to make sure that labor trend continues, right? It's a partnership. It's not just, one organization. It's all of us doing that together, and also attracting talent. This industry is so exciting. I tell my kids all the time, this is the Silicon Valley, of the next generation. Everybody needs power, and it's how do we work together now to attract talent and also develop them.
Yeah, and that is really one of the goals of, building manufacturing and bringing manufacturing back into America to make those jobs available to people. And we're seeing already there's a huge workforce shortage in the tradespeople and contractor side. So talk to me a little bit about how you're handling this big shift, not only in the workforce and the need for training, but also the demographic changes that come along with that.
Yeah, it's a challenge for us, right? We're trying to recruit in different places. If I think about, traditionally how we recruited talent, it was, locally near our plants, by our organizations where headquarters are. Now we're going non-traditional sources. How do we look at things like affinity groups? How do we go after veterans? How do we really partner to be smarter about people who have the right, capabilities that we can then train? It's no longer you need to come in knowing what to do. It's really the right grit and personality. We can then train you to do roles. So it's really shifted the way we think about talent development.
Was there anything else that we didn't talk about that you'd like to share with our viewers?
No, I just thank you for the opportunity, and thank you to NEMA. I'm personally really excited to represent ABB on the board, and I'm really proud of the ABB team who worked really diligently and strong collaboration to make sure we had that certification for Made in America.
Well, congratulations so much,
Thank
and
you.
thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.